So growing up, I feel like during Black History Month, I always heard about the same people. And we love those people. We love them to death. We love our Martin Luther King. We love our Rosa Parks, our Sojourner Truths, our Harriet Tubmans, our George Washington Carvers. We love them. We adore them. We thank them for their contributions. But there are thousands of other heroes and pioneers who walked alongside them, who came before them, that are not recognized as much. So today, we're going to talk about them. Zelda Wynn Valdez, fashion designer and seamstress to the stars. She designed dresses for Eartha Kitt, Dorothy Dandridge, Ella Fitzgerald, Diane Carroll, Ruby Dee, Josephine Baker, just anybody who was anybody, me if I was alive during that time. She was known for making curve-hugging dresses full of beading and sequins and being able to fit any body type just by looking at them. No measurements required. At one point, she was charging up to $1,000 for a custom piece, and that was a lot of money back then. In 1948, she opened up a boutique in New York City, and that was used as a safe haven for Black women who had actually experienced racism. In 1970, she began designing costumes for the Dance Theater of Harlem. One of Valdez's innovations was actually dyeing the tights of the dancers to match their skin tone. Until then, Black dancers had spent their careers wearing pink tights, which mimic the flesh of white dancers. All right, Zelda. Robert Edwin Perry is widely known as the first man to reach the North Pole. What is far less known is that Matthew Henson, a Black man, was actually the first to reach the North Pole and was an important part in Perry's expeditions. While Perry walked the last couple of miles to put the flag there, it was Matthew who actually arrived first by boat. Y'all think he was first to have this fake fur hood too? You know this our thing when it's cold. I know he probably had it on. This card is what we use for public transit here in Chicago. It should be the only thing that you need to get on a bus or train, right? 9 months before Rosa Parks didn't move from her seat, there was a brave 15-year-old named Claudette Colvin. She did the very same thing in the very same city on the very same bus system. On her way home from school, she knew her constitutional rights and she refused to get up when she was asked to move from the middle of the bus. 2 police officers came and she was arrested. She was the first to be arrested for resistance. However, she didn't receive the same attention as Rosa Parks did, and that was for a number of reasons. Allegedly, she didn't have the good hair, the fair skin, she got pregnant, and she was a teenager. Leaders in the civil rights movement tried to keep up with appearances, so they went with the most appealing protesters. Rosa, she had it. She was a member of the NAACP, she was an adult, she was fair-skinned, and she had good hair. But Claudette did it first. I'm sure Alice Coachman had a pair of these as she got an early start running and making her own hurdles. All of that hard work paid off as she was the first African-American woman to win an Olympic gold medal. She won the record for the jump, leaping 5 6 1/8 inches, something crazy like that, way taller than me. She's won 34 national titles. She was inducted into the National Track and Field Hall of Fame and the U.S. Olympic Hall of Fame. Gordon Parks was a bad mother shut your. He was the first Black director of a major film, Shaft. And when he saw the camera, he knew that it could be used as a weapon against racism and poverty, and he knew he had to have one. That's not all. He was also the first African American to be on the staff at Life magazine. And he's responsible for some of the most beautiful pictures that you'll see in the pages of Vogue. Who is the man that filmed the first major film? Gordon Parks, yeah. Okay. Okay, I play too much. Gordon, where would we be without you? Thank you. Dr. Rebecca Lee Crumbler was the first Black female doctor of medicine in the United States. Little is known of her career, but it is reported that she worked for the Freedom's Bureau, which provided medical care to freed slaves. She later practiced in a predominantly Black neighborhood of Boston where she cared for women and children. She also published a medical book, which made her one of the first female physician authors in the 19th century. In the whole century, y'all. Let's talk about Jane, baby. Okay. Jane Bolin was the first Black woman to attend Yale Law School. After that, she became the first Black female judge in the United States, where she served for 10 years. One of her significant contributions was working with private employers to ensure that they hired their employees based on their skills and not discrimination because of their race. Go on, Jane. girl was good. Miss Ethel Waters. She first came into the entertainment industry as a blues singer in the 1920s, but it was her work in television that made her history. She was the first African American to star in her own television show. The Ethel Waters Show, a variety special, premiered in 1939. She was the first African American nominated for a Primetime Emmy Award. She made it possible for actresses like Viola Davis, Regina King, and Zendaya to still break records today. Ms. Waters was also the second African American, male or female, to be nominated for an Oscar. I feel like she was so fancy, I had to pull out my houndstooth, y'all. Esther Jones, better known by her stage name Little Esther, is our real Betty Boop. She was a Harlem jazz singer who performed with a mixture of seriousness and a little trouble. When Betty Boop was introduced, a white singer, Helen Kane, came forward saying it seemed like the character was depicting her style. However, the creators defended themselves by saying her likeness, style, and boop boop badoop was actually that of Esther. So Miss Helen lost the suit, but Esther still never got credit. So we're gonna give it to her today. Want to kick it with me? Hit that subscribe button and you won't miss a